What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. So guys, I haven't really had any ideas this week for a new video, so I decided to come up with a brand new segment. It's going to be called Who Would Win in a Fight? Basically what this segment is going to be, I'm going to take characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh show and the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, manga, what have you, and I'm basically going to discuss what would happen if these guys decided to drop the cards, throw the fist up, and just throw down like old school cowboys. You know, all problems don't have to be solved with children's card games, although, you know, most of life's problems can be. I rate the contestants by 5 different categories. We have past. That's basically where I look at their physical abilities in the past. Have they gotten in fights? How they've done in any type of physical altercations? Pure skill. How they've done in the show. Like, can they whoop people's asses? How they've done in any type of altercations? Intelligence. Is the person smart? I mean, sometimes when fights drag out, the smarter person can win because they might get that cheap shot in. Ruthlessness. Are you going to fight dirty? Are you going to pick up glass bottles and do anything you can to win the fight? And then my personal favorite category, bonus points, which have absolutely nothing to do with any of the other categories and can basically be anything. They don't even have to revolve around fighting at all. So, the contestants for the first Who Would Win in a Fight is going to be, we've got Yugi Moto and Seto Kaiba. And this is pretty much, this is a good throwdown, a good bout for the first episode of this series, because these are two rivals that have basically hated each other or been at odds since the beginning of the show. Maybe Yugi isn't, like, maybe he doesn't hold a lot of hostility towards Kaiba, but there's definitely no love lost if you ask Kaiba. Kaiba doesn't like Yugi. He wants his title back. He's been salty ever since the show first aired and he lost that first duel. Alright, so category 1, past. I gave Yugi a 2 and Kaiba a 7. Why? Well, because Yugi in the past, you know, I remember those scenes where he used to get picked on and Joe used to kind of have to fight his battles. I don't know how old he really was. He was probably, you know, pre-adolescence, but the fact is he didn't really look that strong. He looked kind of inept in previous quarrels and stuff like that on the schoolyard, so, you know, it doesn't really make me believe that this dude used to be a bully. Kaiba's getting a 7 because, man, in that daycare orphanage thing that they had going on, you know, people used to step to Mokuba, try and take his toys, and Kaiba used to just jump in there like, what? You know, whooping ass and taking names. So he wasn't a ruthless thug or anything, so I'm only going to go to a 7. Pure skill. I gave Yugi a 4 and Kaiba a 8. Now, I was kind of conflicted on this, and the reason I gave the reason I gave Yugi a 4 is because, I mean, he does have an ancient Egyptian pharaoh in him, so, I mean, that definitely has to help him out in some right, you know. The fact that you have a grown man living inside of you at any given time probably knows some things, you know, about killing people and getting in some scuffles. You know, they didn't have guns back in the ancient Egyptian days, but, you know, if we're just basing this off Yugi's skill, his skill's probably about a 0, so that kind of balances out with the Pharaoh, but he only gets a 4. Kaiba, I'm giving him a 9. I mean, he flipped Joey over. He beat up some of Pegasus's guards. I mean, Kaiba's, he's not inept. The dude he's got some pretty good hands. Ruthlessness. Yugi gets a 0. Yugi's not ruthless. The only remote ruthless thing that he ever did on the show is when he attacked Weevil with Breaker like 15 times in a row, and then like he like threw him off a train and shit. That was like really gangster. Unfortunately, that wasn't Yugi. That was, you know, the series, the Orichalcos controlling the Pharaoh and whatnot. So I can't really give Yugi any bonus points for or any points for ruthlessness. Kaiba gets a 9. The fact is, Kaiba was willing to circumvent the entire rules of a duel that he had with Yugi and step on the edge of a building so that he could win a freaking Yu-Gi-Oh card game. He's had multiple hostile takeovers and gutted companies to get every single penny that he has, which, I mean, he's only, what, like in his late teens? What does he need all that money for? He basically took the man who adopted him and got him out of an orphanage and ran him into the ground. I mean, Kaiba's just a freaking thug. Not to mention, he has pretty much, he's circumvented the rules and, like, soft cheated a couple of times. Remember that time where Yugi was dueling Kaiba's dark side and he hacked the computer and made Blue Eyes magically lose life points? That's basically cheating. So, yeah, you're definitely getting ruthless points for that. Intelligence. I'm giving Yugi an 8. Yugi is a very sharp marker. I mean, outside of like cheating, he really hasn't lost that many duels on the show. He seems like a pretty smart cookie. I gave Kaiba a 9 mainly because the dude's rich and he's not even 21. Like, and he started from a fucking orphanage. Like, you have to be super intelligent to do that. Not to mention he got the freaking world ranking of what, #1. Granted, he lost to a random Exodia top deck, but still, that's not the point. Pure intelligence. Kaiba's still a very sharp. He's very smart just in general. And then bonus points. I'm giving Yugi 5 bonus points for the fact that he has a psychological edge over Kaiba. Kaiba could probably whoop Yugi's ass easily, but Yugi might be able to go in there, beat on his chest, and bluff him into thinking that he would whoop Kaiba's ass because, I mean, by my count, he's 2-1 in Kaiba in tournament play, so he's got a huge psychological edge. I think Kaiba isn't shook of him, but I don't know if Kaiba is completely sure that he can beat Yugi one-on-one, considering every time they play, Yugi basically destroys him, although we're not talking about that. I gave Kaiba 3 bonus points for Judo. I don't know if Kaiba has trained in Judo, but all his little chops and flips and shit sure look like Judo. And if Lupin III taught me anything, Judo's freaking awesome. So he randomly gets 3 bonus points. And then I'm giving Yugi 1 more bonus point because he has the L'Oreal hair, which is awesome. And I just felt like he should get a bonus point for that. Has nothing to do with fighting or this contest, but he's still getting a bonus point for that. So our grand totals have Kaiba at 36 and Yugi at a score of 20. So yeah, Kaiba almost doubled him. So I would predict that if these two had a throwdown, Yugi would get beaten like a redheaded stepchild, which actually makes sense because he has red in his hair and his parents are either dead or don't love him. So since he was raised by his grandfather, he might as well be a stepchild because, you know, he can't really be loved that much without parents. So yeah, those are the scores. Let me know what you guys thought of this segment, and let me know who you guys think should be next on here and what you think would happen during the actual fight. Thank you guys for watching, and talk to you later.